Hi guys, so today's topic is operations with functions, and we will be working on this worksheet, the back of it, and then also the homework that comes with that. I don't have it right in front of me, but I will download it. And I will change the due date. It will be Tuesday. Okay, so let's start with operations with functions. You can add, subtract, multiply, and divide functions. For example, if you have f of x equals 3x minus 7 and your g of x equals 13 minus 2x, you can find f of x plus g of x. What you have to do is realize that f of x is actually this, g of x is actually this. So we are going to replace f of x with this and g of x with this. So that's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to say 3x minus 7, which is f of x, plus 13 minus 2x. So this is my f of x and this is my g of x, and I add them together. And all I have to do, I just have to combine the like terms. 3x minus 2x is x, and negative 7 plus 13 is positive 6. So this is my answer. So actually f of x plus g of x equals x plus 6. And then we can rewrite it this way. Let me just see something. We can rewrite it this way. F of x plus g of x equals f plus g of x. And this is my first rule. F plus g of x equals f of x plus g of x. To find the difference, we do the same thing as when we were finding the sum, but the difference is just the sign. F minus g of x equals f of x minus g of x. The same thing with product. We see f times g of x equals f of x times g of x, and this f of x and g of x will be given to you. So all you will have to do, you just have to plug in whatever is given to you. F over g of x is the same thing as f of x over g of x. Let's go over a couple of examples. Example number, the problem number 1. Okay, first, we know that we are, let's just, I'm going to copy what is given to me. F of x equals x squared minus 8x plus 4. G of x equals 4x minus 3. And h of x equals x plus 2. And then we have to find each function. And then we have to indicate any restrictions in the domain. So the first question is to find f plus g of x. So we do know, using the rule, that f plus g of x is f of x plus g of x. And then we can just put it right there. F of x plus g of x to make it easier. Now we're going to replace f of x with this and g of x with this. So f of x is x squared minus 8x plus 4. Then we're going to copy this plus and then 4x minus 3. I would suggest to put those parentheses. Here it doesn't really matter because we have a plus. If it was minus, then it would be essential to do that. So let's train ourselves to put the parentheses. Okay, when we add or subtract something, or when we divide or multiply as well. Now we have to realize that these parentheses in this case don't matter. So we're just gonna copy this without the parentheses. Why they don't matter? Because it's actually plus 1 times 4x and 1 times negative 3, which is the same thing. Now we're going to combine like terms. So x squared is left alone. And then negative 8x plus 4x is negative 4x. 4 minus 3 is positive 1. So this is my answer. Now, the second part of the question is to indicate any restrictions in the domain. Well, domain is x, right? And what you have to ask yourself, can I put any number instead of x? Yes, you can. Can you put million instead of x? Yes. Can you put negative 1 instead of x? Can you put negative 1/3 instead of x? Yes, you can. So my domain is all real numbers. Now I'm going to go ahead and do number 3. Let me do number 2, guys. Let me do number 2. All right, f minus h of x. So we're going to use our rule, the difference. So it's the same thing as f of x minus h of x. My f of x is this stuff right here, and h of x is this. So f of x is x squared minus 8x plus 4 minus, and then here we really need those parentheses because we have negative in front. So it's x squared minus 8x plus 4, and then negative 1 times x is going to give me negative x. Negative 1 times 2, negative 2. X squared. Negative 8x minus x is negative 9x. 4 minus 2 is plus 2. And then we again ask if we can put anything instead of x. Yes, we can. Nothing restricting. There's no restrictions on the domain because x can be any number. So domain is all real numbers. And I'm going to go over number 4. Okay? Number 4. Number 4. Sorry, my kids are talking. So, f over h of x is the same thing as f of x over h of x. And our f of x is x squared minus 8x plus 4. X squared minus 8x plus 4, but my h of x is x plus 2. So that's my answer. So this is my answer. And now if we talk about the domain, we have to note that not every x can be plugged in instead of, not any value can be plugged in instead of x. If we plug in negative 2 here, then the bottom, the denominator will become 0, and we cannot divide by 0. So x plus 2 cannot be 0. We're going to solve this, and we're going to get that x cannot be negative 2. So this is my restriction. X cannot be negative 2. Okay. And then I'm going to go over. Guys, can you go upstairs, please? So now I'm going to go over number 6. And then I'm going to finish my video with this. So f times g of x. F times g of x is the same thing as f of x times g of x. So my f of x is x squared minus 8x plus 4. How do I know? I see it right here. And my g of x is 4x minus 3. So I'm going to say I multiply by 4x minus 3. Shh, guys, quiet. So this is my answer. And my domain is all real numbers. I have to finish this video. Sorry, guys. I'll be back.